So hello and welcome everybody to today's after church tea time. I love that you're here with us. Today is Virginia, Sodikia, and me, Christy. And we all watched the sermon, and I'm looking forward to what we will share, what comes to our mind, because I know everybody can share from their own experience, like about perseverance and persistence on our journey. Like we are still here and we are enjoying the journey, but can also share some experiences and maybe also what to do, like when you might feel like you want to give up or something, right? That maybe what we did and to keep going. And it's always like sometimes in my mind, a sweet voice like from Jeff and Shaleia, like keep going, one step after the other, right? The soothing voice comes sometimes to my mind, and just breathing, right? There's some truth, nothing more needed than to love yourself and to breathe. And yeah, it's a beautiful journey. So I just like give the mic, so to speak, to you. Like, who wants to start? Who has the first piece?
I can go. For me, what perseverance is a big thing for me, because yes, I feel that my previous life before coming on this journey, it was difficult for me to persevere in something. And so I worked a lot on the external circumstances in order to improve my life. So yes, it's still a difficult thing, but what I really liked in that sermon is that Gabriel talks about patience as the condition to persevere, and that's a thing that I understood. I really lack patience with myself, and I was really hard on myself, so that it was really difficult to persevere in something, and it make it the journey and the challenges harder when you're tough on yourself and when you don't when you're not patient with yourself. So it's a really it's a thing that I'm learning with the teachings. It's that everything is a process, and even if you don't see the effect in your external reality, you need to go within and to feel your feelings and to feel the difference. And that's when you said what when you feel that you want to give up, I go within and I feel more than think or more than see. I try to feel the difference between my old self and now, and to feel the progress in myself, and usually it's that I feel more stable, that I can endure a situation that before I couldn't handle, or that I would have reacted that way, and now I just breathe and do the work and do the mirror exercise. And something that's helping me being perseverant, it's the fact that my experience now with the teachings has shown me that it works, that we have the tool with the mirror exercise, that we have within the tool to overcome the challenges. And even if it takes time, you can be sure that you can overcome the challenges and feel better. So it's really helpful to be perseverance. It's knowing for sure that you have within the resources to handle the situation. You don't have to wait for somebody or something to occur in your life to be able to do the work. No, you can do it anytime, and you can go through it. So it's really helpful for me. So that's it for the moment. I don't know if you want to share something about that.
That what you said, and also like what Gabriel mentioned in the sermon about situations, like difficult situations, giving us that endurance also to persevere, and what you have talked about. So I think perseverance is something which is built, but building that, endurance to persevere through and through, that really comes by really connecting with the teachings and really building faith and trust in our gurus, in God. And it comes slowly, but I think the reward is very huge when you learn, that you kind of grasp that endurance, you learn to persevere, and you understand that, it's okay if things are taking time. And that is when you slowly let go of, the outside results, and you come into this place where you start, enjoying the journey. I think that is like very beautiful. That is, I feel that the main purpose why God teaches us patience and perseverance. And I think cultivating it is truly divine in our lives.
I love that, Sudhiki, and also what you shared, Virginia, like about learning to enjoying the journey, right? It's sometimes the world teaches us like differently, or it can be perceived longer, right? A spiritual journey than how the world is kind of looking at things or kind of pushing through. And you really learn to not kind of force yourself. And so the patience comes in again, right? Because it can be perceived like a bit slower, but you will learn on the journey that you gain a lot of momentum, that you're not building a house like the teachings in Union says, but a palace. And to have compassion, like with every block, right? Every mirror exercise you are doing, even if you don't see it on the outside yet, but suddenly you can move forward 10 steps in one day, right? When you feel like, oh my gosh, I kind of cleared the pathway in front of me, and it just feels easy to move forward, where before you didn't feel ready yet, and where God prepared you perfectly. And I just felt it on my journey too, that sometimes I kind of had a dream or like a vision. For example, also to do sermons, right? Or like for the Sunday service, or for my life purpose. And before I was like very shy. I'm still sometimes still shy, but I didn't feel ready yet. And then kind of God prepared me like to gain more confidence and to build more self-trust and with expressing myself and to trust myself more. And suddenly, it was easier, and I felt suddenly ready, like where before I didn't feel ready, right, to do something. And so you can always trust on your journey that God knows you and that God prepares you perfectly. And like this little like challenges, and sometimes there's a bigger one, but knowing, like you also said already, that God would never give you something, like Gabe said, that you are not ready for, right? God prepares you perfectly for your challenge. And that it's normal, like when you have a vision or you choose something, for example, your harmonious union, or to have this like wonderful house to live in, or whatever it might be, that suddenly the blocks are coming up, right? That this is normal, right? They are just there to move forward. So you know also like in which direction to move forward. You just clear the blocks and learn to enjoy the journey meanwhile. And then you move forward the whole time, kind of sailing along the way. And what I feel like very beautiful is you learn to feel more safe. That's especially something for me on your journey, how loved you are and how safe you are, like also in this community and with your coaches and with the people around here, that you learn to open up where you would not feel able before, right? To be so vulnerable. And that is like really these places that need the most love, because on your journey you will encounter places, and we have to go to these places where we were hurt before, that you might not be even aware of. And suddenly you feel like able and courageous enough, like to face them, right? Your biggest fears. And that is often the point where a lot of people quit their journey, all right? They kind of want to give up. And to know that it's safe. I don't know who it was, but shared that it's similar to the ghost under your bed, right? When you look the fear in the eye, it's not really real. Like all the fears and what we might be afraid like 1 year before or even like longer, we don't feel any more longer afraid of that. So we learn fear doesn't have any power in truth, right? Just from our past experience, it felt so real. But the more you love yourself, and this is like your biggest power, and feel more peace, you're not afraid anymore. You wake up from this nightmare, basically, along this journey. And I think even the Course in Miracles describes it similar, that everything right was just an illusion, and that you will really like experience that for yourself, that your nightmares or trauma you had before suddenly it has no power over you anymore, right? You don't feel affected by it, and yeah, you can just move forward, right? The whole time you're a complete new person, like you become more your divine self. So it's a really beautiful journey. And I'm also very like passionate about inner healing, right? It becomes really like an addiction, like a healthy addiction. And I just can say like what I do, like when there's really a big challenge or I'm very upset or like what the, yeah, is going on, that I kind of write down 10 mirror exercises. Often like when I'm really upset, right? Of course, when you're feeling a lot of overwhelm, maybe, or anger or whatever's coming up, or afraid, it can feel challenging or overwhelming in this moment. But to use it like constructive and to write it down, write 10 mirror exercises, sometimes even like 20, and then piece by piece, like I mirror everything and come out of it and like gain new insights along the way. And like, wow, I feel so much better every mirror exercise I'm doing. So yeah, that's what I feel right now. Sharing. Where's the next piece?
I can go because I really like the image you used about the ghost, because yes, usually I think it's about the fear, and also that we're not going, the fear to feel our feelings, the fear to feel, in my case, to feel too much and to be overwhelmed, and also not being able to go through the challenges. And I really like the image of the ghost because when I was younger, I had many issues in in relationships, and I started it was the first time I started a therapy, and the therapist says this, talked about this image about the ghost, and it just said that, okay, your fears are like the ghost, and once you go through it, the fear and the ghost is not there. Okay, so I remember that it impacted me a lot, but it didn't give me the tools to go through the ghost and to make it disappear. And it has been really, really important for me. I've been through a lot of therapy and so on, and it has been really healing. But this tool, the mirror exercise, is key, and it's magic. It's magic because once you use it, and as you say, sometimes it's more difficult, and you need to write down and to stuck at your desk and to put an objective. Okay, today I will do 10, I will do 20, because sometimes it's just difficult, and sometimes you tend to skip it. But it's really helpful to know that I know that I said it earlier, but it's really important to me in my relationship with the teachings, because before I've never been told how to overcome my challenges, and if I have been able to do it, I didn't know how I've done it, so it was impossible to redo it again. And you go in life like this, okay, try and error, and now with the mirror exercise, everything, it's more, you can truly, or at least I have the feeling that I can truly have goals, and that I can achieve them, because I know there's a way, and that I will be. It might take times, but I will be able to go there, because it's not just for a few people that understands life. Now with the teachings, we are able to have a deeper understanding about how life works. And yes, I really like this idea. And yes, I really like also what you say, Sudikia, about that patient teaches us to enjoy the journey. And I really think so. It's when we slow down, when we take the time to properly do the work and to take it step by step, that we can truly be present with ourselves and feel, and that we feel good. And sometimes we feel bad, but again, we have the tools to feel better and to, yes, truly take our times. And it's something that I'm still learning. So to be patient and to enjoy the journey, it's really new for me.
Beautiful. And even what Christy said, in the beginning, and what you also added to it, I feel yes, building perseverance by writing down the mirror exercise, taking those small steps, and coming to the realization of the fact that these small things in life actually, like, help us unfold our divine life. Otherwise, when we are living a life which is, where we are not patient, we are not very much, persevering with ourselves, we are trying to always make things more complex to have a perfect life. And that is mostly, our ego self trying to have control, as something which Gabriel also mentioned, that about control. So we are trying to always control things and, create that egoic life that our mind thinks that, this is the best life for us. But yes, if God gives us those challenges and, things don't go right, then we come back and we see that yes, we have to build that perseverance. We have to, take things slow. We have to do the small things that God is asking us to do. And in shedding that ego and letting go of that control, that simple thing of just, taking one step at a time. And Jeff and Shelley also say that just, putting one foot in front of the other in a very, in a harmonious manner, not from a place of control, not from a place of trying to just, maniacally, trying to control the outside or create results on the outside. Just letting go of everything and just being in the moment and persevering, that truly creates like the divine life which we want. And it is a big thing. Like for me, I'm coming into the realization slowly of this, because I also was, trying to control things, make things happen a certain way. And when we are starting the journey, it is very common for us to think in that way and think that yes, maybe that is the superior way of being, that you are trying to create results in your reality rather than really trusting the process. But yes, mostly now when I come into the realization that yes, I can trust God, I can trust God to take me through this beautiful journey. And if I build perseverance, if I build that patience, that presence with God, that is how my divine life unfolds. That makes it so much easy for me to just, let go and really just enjoy the flow of life, enjoy the flow of God, enjoy the company of God also. I think perseverance teaches that the most, that, being in that moment, how you can ground into yourselves and really like just be with God and just let go of everything else. I think Shalia also says this in the teachings that, while even brushing her teeth, she'll like talk to God. And I used to think that, okay, I am also aware of God's presence, but I'll never think and, feel that, okay, I should talk to God during these small, small moments, in my life. But yes, this journey, that perseverance, patience that it has taught me, it has also made me come very deep towards into my own heart, like into the presence of God, and really in a place where I can have a dialogue with Him and trust Him. So that has been a big learning, just letting go of that control and being with God in the moment.
Thank you, Sadikia. And thank you, Virginia. Yeah, it's like letting go of the control. Yeah, it's also a big thing. Sometimes you don't even know where you're still controlling, right? And I'm so grateful for my coach who was pointing that out, like where I'm still controlling, and to, it's kind of like the invitation to surrender, right? To relax there, because control comes from a place of fear that you would not get what you want, basically, right? And so to let that go completely, and having patience. Yeah, you really learn to trust yourself, like on your journey, right? To become your own hero. And these inner muscles is like what I always like to imagine, basically, right? It's like a fitness studio, like the inner work. You really build muscles so that you can also handle bigger challenges. You are growing the whole time. And then the cool thing, like with your twin flame, like for eternity, right? You will never stop growing, and to learn to enjoy it, right? To let go of the fear of change, maybe, or that can sometimes, because the resistance is in truth, I think, everything what makes it challenging or more challenging. And the more we let go of resistance, also to feel maybe pain or whatever will come up, the easier it will get. Because the same amount of energy we put into the patterns or the false beliefs we had before, the same energy we can invest into the right direction, right? To focus on God and on loving ourselves, and to just shift this focus. It was sometimes for me like a pit bull, right? Holding onto the bone, like in his mouth. Biting, right, this controlling thing, but that you can do, like having this persistence or this power you can put into cling on what is healthy, might cling on God instead of the fear, for example. And yeah, that sometimes helps me to make this core choice or to make a new choice, that, and also to experience how powerful your choice is along your journey, right? And I think Lara said that in the intro outro too, like always being persistent to your choice that you're making on your journey, right? To just stick to your choice and you will see the results. And yeah, to experience that. And I love kind of like every part of the Sunday service today, how it was building up together. For example, with the song, Let It Be, right? Just let it be, right? Let go of control. And to learn, like, to surrender and give it all to God, right? When the challenge kind of comes. I love this image of being the eye of the storm, right? When you kind of like meditate, even there's chaos around you and tries to pull you in or into the drama, or no matter what it be, just to like come into yourself with God, into your peace, and just let it be, basically. Yeah, and to because you're just responsible, like, for yourself and what is going on inside of you. And I was also reading the book again, like Twin Flames Finding Your Ultimate Lover, and then love doing it now before bedtime, right? To with my yellow marker, kind of like always marking, and you always can go deeper, right? No matter how often you already have read it, like these basics, right? Coming back to it, and yeah, basically how powerful your choice is, and that you nobody can make you upset, right? And kind of like these things, and when you read it, and to take responsibility, like, for yourself and for your reality, and that makes it like easier or faster than to cling on a story, right? To just feel your feelings. And so the faster you kind of let go of the story and to feel your feelings, the easier it will also be, like, to move forward, to just release them. And because of your feelings, God is really guiding you forward. And it can seem like, oh my gosh, when I would feel my feelings now, I would be stuck. Because often we may have felt stuck, like in a depression, or like a black hole, right, before we had the teachings, right? That you would not come out of it when you feel like very bad. And so that might be also like a resistance or reason that you want to avoid, like, feeling the pain. But in truth, it's like you would go with the flow of life when you would allow yourself, like, more easily, like, to feel your feelings, and the journey would be faster. So it's, again, like releasing resistance, and yeah, you will learn, like I said before, feeling more safe to go to these places. And it's so beautiful, like, also to know that even for Jeff and Shaleia, right, deep stuff came up after years, right? Or even trauma. And it will be for us that you just know your soul, or like God is showing you when you're ready. Only then God will guide you there. So you can relax and trust the journey, and to know that you are safe and you're always loved, especially unconditionally. That's what I'm also relaxing deeper into. So that kind of like being with your twin flame, and also like that there are people who really like want to see you happy and successful and support you on your journey. And I'm so grateful for that. So no matter where you're at on your journey, when you're just at the beginning, claim your support, right? Don't be shy, and you will just experience love and more love, yeah, in your life. Okay, that's my part for now.
I would like to add something, two things in actually. One thing is in the sermon, what felt really helpful for me also is when Gabriel said that and reminded us that God is always there and that we can come back to God anytime. And I think that's key, and that's what's helping. One of the things that helps that helps me to be perseverant on that journey. It's yes, that with the teachings, knowing now that God is always there, and that sometimes when I go around the block, it's that I'm too much in my head and I try to solve it by myself and try to think instead of feel. That's things I do. That's a thing I do often, and that I'm trying to heal with the practice. But I could feel guilty about like trying again to do it on my own and to go in the pattern of thinking instead of feeling. But no, the teachings teach us that we just have to get rid of guilt, and it's unnecessary in our journey, and that God will always be there without any judgment. So we can go through ways that are not the ways that God wants for us, but anyway, he will always be there, and that's also for me what builds safety with this work and with this process. And as you mentioned it, Chrissy, I think safety is really important to feel safe, because we feel vulnerable at times when we heal, and especially when we heal deep wounds and things that we have been avoided since a long time. And so knowing that God, without any judgment, will always be there, it's really relieving. And that leads me to my second point, which is by talking also, by hearing the sermon, but also talking with you and hearing you, I have the feeling that we, as society, we understand perseverance wrong, in the sense that we associate perseverance with suffering and pain. When we are perseverance, that okay, we can handle pain and we can go through anything like a warrior. But perseverance is just, as we learn from the teaching, is just showing up and stick with, as you said, stick with our choices and do the mirror exercise when the upset is coming. It's not something really painful. It's just a choice. It's just an attitude, I would say. And yes, it's a choice we have to make recurrently, but it's not difficult to choose something. So perseverance, it's not something out of access to us. It's something that's really common, and that's not painful. And I think I used to associate perseverance with pain, because maybe I persevere in situations that created pain, and I didn't know how to get out of the situation by myself. So yes, so it's nice to realize that. Thank you.
I think I'll just add a couple of lines on what you have just mentioned, that cultivating that attitude of perseverance is so important, because when we stumble upon, and this is also something Christy had mentioned, that when we stumble upon some block and we make the choice of just resisting it and controlling it and not persevering through it, that kind of delays our journey. But more and more we start connecting with God, we are able to cultivate that attitude where naturally our reaction will be to really move through it and not, move around it and look for a easier way out. Like what Gabriel had also mentioned, that the way is the way, like through it, that is the only way out. So yes, I think cultivating that attitude is so important in the journey, and understanding that only that can actually lead you to God and lead you to union. That is the crux of understanding how to make choices also in the journey. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's very beautiful. Also, we need, like, I think everybody of us these reminders, right? Sometimes even like yeah, along the journey, even Jeff and Shaleia mentioned it in the last live class that they need that too, right? The teachings of union, like for their own journey, right? Um, to just keep going, right? No matter how you feel, and to keep loving yourself. And yeah, like Gabe said in the sermon, like you always have a choice, right? And to not underestimate like how powerful your choice is, like to just keep going. And I feel also like the engine, when he was reading about the quote from the book, what persistence and perseverance is. Yeah, your engine to keep going is your relationship with God, right? To always, like, you want to be close to God, you want to feel God's love, or sometimes you just need a hug, right, from God, and to feel like safe and loved. And yeah, there is, like, I think we are created this way, like that we just want to be with our Creator, right? With God. We are God's children. So there's, when you listen to your heart and you choose to connect with your heart and your feelings, where God is guiding you, that just God guides you automatically, like deeper and forward, because He also wants to be with us. And I loved it when in the teachings of union, or in the classes, Jeff and Shaleia share about how God pursues us, or because He wants to be with us and to learn, oh wow, God wants to be with us, right? And that He's our twin flame too, and we are His twin flame, right? So that there is this natural attraction already, and that this is kind of like why we just want to go forward, and right, to just, that's the eternal journey, to just be closer to God. And so it's not only about us, or yeah, it's about us all, like we are all one. And so yeah, you kind of get to experience more and more what this journey is all about, right? Of course, you do it for yourself first, right, and to feel better, but also what kind of an impact it has, and that you might not even know, right? The people around you, or that see you transform, and you kind of like just embody self-love, what kind of an impact that has or can have, and that they also learn to trust or to believe in themselves. And that, I think, like for all of us, yeah, we didn't know before we were finding the teachings of union that there's a way out. And it felt often like, so like Virginia was talking about, this persevere through suffering, kind of the survival mode, right? You're just doing your best to survive through the pain, and now learning like, yeah, there's a way out, that you can heal everything, that you have the solution and the key through the teachings of union to really heal everything. And when you know that, you also feel more safe and able to go to these places, right? That there will never come a block or something that you could not hear or handle, and you can always claim your support. Yeah, that's so beautiful to know what we have found here. And of course, we called that in, right? Like this teaching. So when you are ready, kind of God shows up and brings you here. So know that if you're here, or maybe for the first time, it has a reason, right? You kind of like, your heart was calling that in to find a solution for all your problems. So I think that's also what I learned, to stick through challenges and to persevere on my journey, that you get this inner experience. Wow, I can heal this, and then I can heal everything, right? When I overcame this block, then what could be like in the way, right, to move forward and to build a self-trust. It's especially like what I learned for myself, to believe in myself, because I think like we all experience that people around us, may it be like in family or friends, that they didn't believe like either like in us or in true love, right? That you were kind of like programmed this way. Oh, it's not for everyone, or it's kind of like too good to be true, or it's a fantasy. And so you kind of like took that on, right? Like, oh, right, I have to suffer, or it's kind of like the role models kind of we had in our journey. And of course, they didn't know better, right? Or even if they believed in God, but it felt like they didn't know how to come out like of pain or even trauma. And so now we learn to have more and more compassion, not only for us, but also for the people around us. And I can feel that for myself too. The more I love myself, I can love more others, no matter what they're choosing right now on their journey. That yeah, my coach said that recently too, right? You just heal and then you set the boundary, like if that's needed. And so you feel at peace and you hold space kind of for the other person. And I was recently watching a class where Jeff and Shaleia share about this, that you in truth never disconnect with others, right? That we are all one. And that you learn to let go of walls that we may have built around our heart to protect us, right? Back then it might felt like the only best you could do in some situations, that we all have kind of built up walls where we got hurt or disappointed in relationships, and to now release them and to feel yeah, more safe to let them go. Yeah, I just lost my red thread, but yeah, I think you got me. Yeah, that's what I got for now. Like, do you feel complete, or like is there something else that some of you like wants to share about it?
Yeah, I would like to share something else about what you both said about releasing control. And for me, what comes up right now, it's releasing control about the results. And we have been told to reach certain point when you're complete that age or that age, you have to have that and that and that in your life. And with the teachings, with you really realize that you can have the life that you want. And even if it takes time, it's important to not focus on the result and just focus on the process. And what's helping me being perseverant again, it's yes, I think I've lost the idea, but because I feel that I'm repeating myself, but I also wanted to say sorry. I don't remember. I wanted to share something about, yes, releasing control. Yes, now. I just chose to release control. And but what I wanted to share was about, I realized with with these teachings, the power of my choice. I didn't realize that before. And I didn't realize that I have a power on my own and with my choice, and that my choice is powerful and can change my reality. I just made the choice to release control, and I just got the idea I wanted to share. So for me, it has been key to realize that, and that helped me to be perseverant on this path. And also, I never had the feeling that I was going backwards. Many times in my life before meeting the teachings, I had the feeling that I was going back to something I didn't want to go back to. And with the teaching, sometimes you have to heal in layers. That's why we learn. and you have the sensation that you're going back, but you're not going back, you're just going deeper. And with the years I'm doing this work, it's also something that helped me stick with the work. It's going backwards and seeing that my life is just getting better and better. And what I was saying with the result, it's again, my life might not be the same as people of my age, but that's okay. I'm doing the work through the inner way, and the results I want to see in the world, they eventually comes. But the power of the choice, and also as you talked about boundaries, for me it's something really important to be able to, even by your choice, to set boundaries, to say no, but not to say a big no in the face of another person, but just to choose, no, I won't do that, I won't go there, I won't give my energy to that. And just by choosing it within yourself, so it's happening. So it's really important, that realization on the journey, and that's really helpful to go on and to persevere and to go through challenges with that experience and knowledge.
Sudhika, do you feel like you have another point, or how do you feel, Sudhika?
I just feel that yes, the power of choice that is being talked about, I think that is a choice we have to take again and again to build that endurance, build that perseverance. And I feel that yes, that might be the closing, thought for today, that it really depends on us to build this perseverance. Like God always has that choice ready in front of us, the choice of claiming our divine life, of building this life of truth, perseverance with God, and living life in harmony with God. That builds the foundation of our harmonious union with our twin flame. So yeah.
I love that. Yeah, it's like to learn to trust the process and accept like where you are right now, right? Because I remember Jeff and Shaleia said that too, it's only about your journey, right? You never have to compare yourself with other journeys, right? They might have blocks you have already healed and vice versa. And that your journey is perfect for you and laid out, your perfect love story, so to speak, with God is laid out for you. And the choice is in truth just love, right? To choose love in every moment and to let it be easy and not make it complicated, like the ego, right? The voice of ego wants to make it complicated and to kind of keep you in this loop, right, of insanity, but you can never understand ego or insanity. So to just let that go and focus on love and focus on God. Yeah, I also feel that's kind of like sums it up. And I just like look if there are comments, but as far as I'm seeing, there are none yet. So maybe they will come later and we will answer them. Yeah, it was beautiful, like to meet with you today, like after the sermon. And I love like communing and to share about our own journeys and right, that we feel so much support here and support each other in the community, and it's such a safe space. And if you want also like to have that or to provide it for more and for other people, there is the opportunity like to tithe or donate. And at our website, unionism.org, you can check that out and all the past sermons and all like even I think the parts like of the sermons, right? The card readings, the meditations you can access there. And yeah, I loved it today, and I wish you everybody a beautiful rest of the Sunday. And keep going. Don't give up. Keep going, choosing love. And see you very soon.
Yeah,
Take
thank
care,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.